So, the Department of Education, now controlled by Elon Musk and Donald Trump, have cut $600 million in grants uh, of training programs that were training teachers about how to pretty much be accepting of all students, how to recognize their own biases, and learn how to recognize it and get over it so that they could treat all of our children equally. Well, apparently, those are divisive ideologies, which I think is hilarious, being how divisive their ideology is toward literally everyone not white, Christian, straight male. But I digress. But the Department of Education, and I will actually put the press release down here, and it's a video. It'll scroll up so you can actually read it yourself if you want to pause and read it yourself. I did the whole thing, but I'll just go over a few parts. First of all, they call this training, which is training that provides materials on critical race theory, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It provides training on social justice activism, what that is, anti-racism, and it also provides instruction if they encounter, white supremacy, and also how to deal with the idea of white privilege, how to deal with that, and make it so that your class does not adhere to, any racist ways, or giving white kids more privilege, recognizing their own biases. If they have a bias against black kids, thinking that black kids are automatically less intelligent than the white kids, recognizing that within yourself and learning how to deal with that. That is what those programs are for. The new Department of Education calls those programs unnecessary and inappropriate. So a teacher who may have a bias against another race or another religion or something like that is now not going to get the training that they need, which makes my son, my daughter, unsafe in their classrooms. Because now, and this goes for anybody of color, this goes for anybody's kid who is not a straight white Christian male. If you have daughters, white or black, Asian or Hispanic, this goes for you. Because those trainings are for them too. Those trainings are for black and brown kids who may be having the same type of issues that the white kids have, but the cops get called on the black kids, but they don't get called on the white kids. That happens, especially in southern states. That happens. A teacher will call a cop on a little 9-year-old kid super quick if they're black or brown. But then the white kid, oh, he must be having trouble at home. That's why he's bullying all these people. Oh, that poor kid. They always get the benefit of the doubt. So those programs were to combat that, to help teachers train them in the ways that would make our children safer. But they got y'all thinking that anything that DEI that anything that's tells the truth about our real history and what white people have done to black and brown people is bad. They got y'all thinking that white people are inherently smart, inherently well behaved, and black people are lazy, dumb, and violent, which is the complete opposite. I digress. It goes into, and you can read this. I'll keep this up. But it goes into what the grants were for. And it required practitioners to take a personal and institutional responsibility for systemic equities like racism, critically reassess their own practices. That doesn't seem like a bad thing, huh? Right? Like, critically assess how you're dealing with your kids in your class to create a system where they can learn and grow in peace and in safety. Another thing that it did was there were workshops available for these teachers and equity training on topics like building cultural competence, dismantling racial bias. That doesn't seem like a bad thing, does it? Centering equity in the classroom. Why would that be inappropriate and unnecessary? Don't know. But it also dealt with gender discrimination, homophobia, ageism, which older teachers, yeah, you're going to start feeling that because ageism is a thing when it comes to teaching. You would think that because older people are thought of as wiser, sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes the younger teachers are like, yeah, you too old to know. We're just going to take over and do our stuff. That's what those trainings are for, is to combat those things. But these are some of the things that this DOE, this Department of Education, thinks is inappropriate and unnecessary. So they are taking $600 million out of the system because they think that's unnecessary. How this is going to make our kids more unsafe in a country where school shootings are rampant, I can't even tell you. And if you don't know already, if you don't understand how that's going to make our kids unsafe in the hands of these untrained teachers, these biased teachers, sometimes racist teachers, sexist teachers, if you don't know how that's going to make your kid unsafe, there is nothing else to say.